Then the second half came, and once again, the New York Knicks completely down, locked down the Boston Celtics. I don't really know if there's another way to say it.
No, but that's two straight games in the second half. They've come out and just completely stopped the Celtics.
Bottom line,
Yeah.
there's really, I mean, we could say it in a lot of different ways, but that is the bottom line of it. They came out in the second half and once again shut down Boston. KG being in foul trouble was a little bit of a issue for Boston last night. There's no question about that. But once again, J.R. Smith, Carmelo Anthony.
70 points in 2 games for Melo, averaging 35 a game. Martin grabbing 11 boards. It was quite the show.
Solid team performance.
Yeah, it didn't look that way in the first half, though. In the first half, Boston seems to have their way a little bit in the first half. But then, I don't know. The Knicks just go in at halftime, make the right adjustments. Raymond Felton played a really good game yesterday as well, especially on the defensive end. I like what I see out of this Knicks team right now, and I'll tell you what. Friday's going to be a very emotional game, especially for the Celtics. The first time they're playing there since all the nonsense from the Boston Marathon happened. So, I got breaking soccer news if you want it.
Sure. Breaking news is always fun.
Liverpool striker Luis Suarez. Don't know if you know him.
Vaguely.
He received a 10-match ban from the English Football Association for biting an opponent. I don't know if you saw the video of him do that the other day. I actually watched it. Yeah, it's ESPN was showing it a lot, and it's apparently this guy's second time he's bitten somebody on the soccer field. And apparently, I watched it. What happened is him and the other guy were, pretty much battling for the ball. And one guy, used his forearm almost to, push him away. Well, the guy grabbed his arm and just bit it. Just went all Tyson on him.
Yeah, I'd say that's definitely going Tyson. Without a doubt. So let me ask you a question. Considering what has unfolded in the last 2 games of this series between the Celtics and Knicks. In Game 1, the Knicks hold Boston 25 points. In Game 2, they hold Boston 23 points in the second half. Combined, total, 25 points between the third and fourth quarter. 23 points between the third and fourth quarter. So,
how many points is that between the third and fourth quarter?
25 in the first game, 23 in the second game. So, when you look at that in the first 2 games, are we giving credit to the Knicks and their defense, or are we blaming the Celtics for not having enough scorers and not being able to put points up on the board?
They have Paul Pierce. They have Garnett. I know those guys are a little bit older, but they could still play. Bradley can play. They have guys. Jeff Green. They can all play. Yeah, they have guys that can score, and they play good enough defense. They're just getting locked down in the second half. KG's just getting frustrated. You saw it last night. He was chirping about something, and then I forget, somebody came down the lane and scored a layup, or Felton. That's it. Felton drove, had a tough shot, ends up making it, and you see Garnett getting all mad, and then you just see Chandler yelling something back at him, and you could tell they're just somehow getting in KG's head, and he's not performing like he should. I mean, he did have 11 boards yesterday, but it just wasn't enough.
So we're giving credit to the Knicks defense then.
You got to give credit to the Knicks defense here. I mean, this is now 2 straight games you've held Kevin Garnett to 8 points and 12 points. I mean, Paul Pierce only had 18. Yeah, Jeff Green, 3 of 11, 2 of 5 for Bradley, 2 of 6 for Bass. They're just not shooting well. 3 of 8 for Terry. 4 of 11
started
for
3,
Crawford.
had 3 threes in the first half. That's all he did.
Yeah.
Jason
He was
Terry.
3 of 7 from 3.
Yeah, he's helpful. He's doing a lot for the team. You know what? I mean, I think I could go either way with this one when it comes down to it, but the reason why I'm actually going to agree with you and not disagree is for the simple fact of the matter is that I believe Boston is too much of a veteran team to give them an easy excuse and say, they just don't have enough talent to put the ball in the hoop. I just believe that. I think they're too much of a veteran team with too much experience to give them that easy way out. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you and put it with that. The New York Knicks are locking them down defensively in the second half. Mike Woodson is making his halftime adjustments and nailing them right on the head perfectly each time. You're talking they've surrendered 48 points through 4 quarters of basketball. You know what I mean? Think about that. 48 points in 4 quarters of basketball.
Yeah.
Through that's something
that too, and they're not
take
getting,
your hat
from
off
what I'm
to.
seeing here too, they're not getting to the free throw line at all. They took 10, 16, 18 free throws yesterday, the Celtics as a team. Melo by himself took 11.
You crediting home court advantage on that one a little bit?
No, I'm just saying they're not being aggressive enough. I think they're settling too much for jump shots. I was watching some of KG's shots last night, and, KG, he should be playing more towards the basket, in my opinion, especially this late in his career. He should be playing a lot more in the paint, and he's trying to hit jumpers from 15, 18 feet away, and I'm sorry, KG, you used to be great. You're not the same player you were.
Not saying you can't make those, just not as consistently as you used to.
You got to see more in the paint out of him. And you're just not seeing it. Bottom line, I really like what the Knicks are doing. Playing great defense in the second half of these games. Not so much in the first half. I'm going to state that and note that.
Yeah, Joey threw that in the chat room for us. 110 points for the Celtics in the first half of the 2 games, 48 in the second half. That's a nice little point disparity right there, to say the least. I did just check since we were talking free throws. The Celtics actually outshot the Knicks in Game 1 on free throws, 19-15. So, home court advantage, that idea goes right out the window. Believe it or not, though, in Game 1, they went 19 of 19 as a team from the free throw line for Boston, but they only had 3 guys shoot those 19 free throws. Pierce, Courtney Lee, and Green.
I'll tell you what, I like what I see out of Jason Kidd. I mean, I know he's not shooting the ball that well right now, but just having his veteran leadership on the court, especially with the second unit's a big help. And Kenyon Martin's been a beast. 11 boards last night, playing great defense, and he plays a lot down the stretch. That's what I've noticed in these last 2 games is you've seen more of him down the stretch than you have of Chandler. And even though Martin only played 23 minutes, it's not like he got a ton of minutes. But Chandler got 22. It's kind of like they just split the time. But you're seeing Martin more in the second half of the games.
Well, I mean, to me, the fact that they have that type of rotation is huge because the one thing that I kept saying about the Knicks is if they don't have guys that can rock down low, you don't need a point. You don't need the guys that are playing down low for you to put out points anymore. All right, this is not a center-driven league anymore. You don't need the guys that play on the boxes to put up points for you. But you need guys down there to battle for rebounds, make the, a guy that may break his man down on the dribble and get to the rim. You need guys down there to make it harder for them to score, so on and so forth. And the Knicks are getting that out of Kenyon Martin and Tyson Chandler. I mean, Martin had, 4 blocks last night? I mean, that's what I'm trying to say is that,
Yeah, Martin had 4 blocks last night.
Yeah, so even though they're not putting out, crazy point totals, they're affecting the game in the way that the Knicks need them to affect the game.